Welcome everyone to the Chapter 1 example problems. For this video series we're going to be showing a couple examples from each chapter to give you a feel for some of the common ways that problems will present themselves from the material in the text and how you can then apply that, especially for the mathematical problems. So we picked out, I think, 3 problems from Chapter 1 just to have a little practice with dimensional analysis. Alright, so our first one here is 1.57b. Says that the lung capacity of a blue whale is 5.0 times 10 to the third liters. We want to convert that to gallons. So the first thing we need to do is find out, well, what's the conversion between liters and gallons? And I always like to have the larger unit be the 1, and then the smaller unit be, something larger than 1. So I'm not dealing with small decimals and worrying about that. It doesn't matter if you do it the other way. Well, it's just the reciprocal. It works out mathematically, but I just like to do it that way. So gallon is larger, so look it up in the text, and you find that 1 gallon is equal to 3.785 liters, and that's our conversion factor that we'll use using our standard dimensional analysis setup, where, of course, as we talk about in the class, we will start with the given, so 5.0 times 10 to the third liters. We will then multiply by a fraction. The unit that we were given will go on the bottom so that it cancels out. The unit that we want will go on top, so that's what we end up with. And then we put in our conversion. So we said, okay, yeah, 1 gallon is 3.785 liters. And so then we'll just grab a calculator and punch that in. So we have 5.0 times 10 to the third, so 5,000, divided by 3.785. And so we get, from our calculator, 1,321 point some other stuff, and that would be gallons, right, because liters have crossed out. Now that's 4 sig figs. We were only given 2, so we want to cut this down. So we could change that answer to 1,300 gallons, and that would be 2 sig figs. But that leads to the issue of, well, are those zeros counting or not? Did we forget something? So the better way is to use scientific notation and to say that's 1.3 times 10 to the third gallons, and that would be our final answer with correct sig figs. So you got to set up your conversion, make sure the units cross out, make sure you know where you're plugging numbers in, and then just do the math. All right. Here's another one. Same thing. Statue of Liberty is 151 feet tall. Calculate the height in meters. So we would go ahead and look that up. A meter is larger, so 1 meter. We looked that up from either the back of the book, online somewhere, some other reference. 281 feet. Right. We then set up our dimensional analysis. So we have 151 feet times our conversion factor. Feet will go on the bottom to cross out. Meters will go on top, so we end up with it. Then we plug in our conversion numbers up here. Meters on top, so there's the 1. Feet on the bottom. There's the 3.281. And then we'll just go ahead and do our math. The feet will cancel out. 151 divided by 3.281. So the calculator gives us 46.023 meters. But that's 5 sig figs if we count it all up. We're only allowed to have 3 from what we started with. So we say, okay, first one counts, second one counts, third one counts, stop. Check for rounding. No rounding there. So 46.0 meters, and we can stop right there. Okay. All right, for the last problem here, it's a density problem. We still have to do some math, but then we're going to apply density and the metric system. It says density of tungsten metal is 19.35 grams per cubic centimeter. We have a block with dimensions of 4 by 2 by 1.5 centimeters. What is the mass of the block in kilograms? And so we say, okay, well, density, that equation is that density is equal to mass divided by volume. But we want to solve for mass, right? It says what is the mass of the block. So we want to rearrange that to say that mass will equal the density times the volume. Okay, well, we have the density. It's given right here. But we need the volume, and that's what we don't have. That's what we got to figure out first. Oh, okay. Sorry. New writing tablet, figuring out what things do. Not designed for lefties, as most things in life. All right, so first we find volume. Volume is just the length times the width times the height. We have our three numbers. So volume will be 4.00 centimeters times 2.00 centimeters times 1.50 centimeters. Oops. If we multiply that out, 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 1.5 is 12. And since all of these have three significant figures, it'll be 12.0 centimeters cubed. Make sure it's cubed because, hey, we have 3 centimeters. Now we have 3 centimeters there. So that's step one. We now have volume. We were given density. We can now plug them in to get mass. So mass will equal 19.35 gram per centimeter cubed times 12.0 centimeters cubed. Those will cross out. That's great. So now we have 19.35 times 12. We'll use a calculator for that one. And we get 232.2 grams. And that's a good start. But it actually says it wants kilograms. So now we have to do another conversion. Use our metric system. Kilo means that there's 1,000 of the unit. So 1 kilogram. Actually, you know what? Let me do this in different colors so we can see that it's... Hold on. I'm not sure what's happening there. All right, never mind. Same color. We'll just put a line here. 1,000 grams. So we say, okay, 232.2 grams. Grams on the bottom, kilograms on top. 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. So this will be 0.2322 kilograms. That's 4 sig figs. We were given 4 sig figs here by the density. But if you remember, our volumes only had 3. Our volume only had 3. I carried an extra here because the rule is if you're doing a multi-step problem, don't round it to the end. But really, this grams only has 3 sig figs that I'm putting in. I just kept the 0.2 around. So I'm only allowed the first 3. So my final answer will be 0.232 kilograms. And that's that. All right. So hopefully a couple quick problems here just to kind of see how the things set up. There is no problem set for chapter 1, but dimensional analysis, setting things up like we did here at the bottom or like we did in the first 2 problems, it comes up all the time in later chapters. You've got to be able to cancel out units. So hopefully this was helpful to you to kind of see how things set up. All right, have a good one. See you in the next video.